Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you the first game in a best of 3 between Cadilakor and the man who changed Korea. This is the first round of the Great Paradox Tourney. So this map today is Carpiquet Duellists, the 1v1 version. Usually you play from the direction I'm looking at, from top to bottom. However, with this version of Carpiquet, you're going from obviously right to left here, as you can see, across the runway, and it definitely leaves this massive open area in the center of the map, which definitely helps you exploit like 1,200 meter range units in Phase A. Now we have two divisions that are very different indeed. Cadilakor is going to be using the 15th Infantry, and the man who changed Korea is going to be using the 21st Panzer. Now the Churchill 5s work especially well on this map because of the 1,200 meter range, so I would expect to see one of those come out, and indeed we have. Over on the other side, we're going to be looking for Pack 40s or equivalent, which is going to be the S307 pack. Now of course there has been the update to the 21st Panzer now since the start of the tournament, so it looks like the man who changed Korea here is also going to be making use of the Lorraine 105mm, which also has the 12 AP at 1,200 meter range, as well as the 15 HE. So a very versatile unit that the 21st Panzer can field at the start. But after a relatively short deployment, we are off. It looks like Cadilakor is just going to be going for a few rifles spread out to hold the fort, whilst he pushes with some recon and a couple of Churchill 5s, which is okay, but he needs to be careful that those don't get taken out by these vehicles, because 12 AP and 13 AP is definitely enough to penetrate the 9 front armour of a Churchill 5. So we've got to watch out for those engagements. At the same time, however, a Churchill 5 with 13 HE has the potential to penetrate and blow up a 2 armoured vehicle like this pack, and also could do the same to the the Lorraine 39 here if it gets a rear armour shot. On the top side we have the Panzergrenadier with a Panzergrenadier. Panzergren's coming down to the mid, and there's also the Pack 43 at the start, so a lot of AP investment by the man who changed Korea at the start, and that's definitely going to give him a lot of pressure across this airfield if it's played correctly, because this Lorraine can open up onto the rifles here, blow them up very, very easily and quickly. That's exactly what we're starting to see. So instantly pinned down, one shot. The only issue with it is on this bottom side is there's not any infantry, so looks like that's going to be brought in as reinforcement. Cadilakor is going to be using the Spitfire Mark 9. Might be able to pin down these units, honestly, but just going to be going for the strafing run onto the Pack 43 instead. Looks like that was in line of sight. Let's just have a look at what each player can see. So the Churchill 5 is moving into range of these vehicles here. Speedtroop are in a pretty damn good position here, which can see most of the runway. Would be good to have another recon on the top side maybe. Then we have Cadilakor, who can see the half-track and the Lorraine here, because there's no recce on the bottom side, there's only recce on the top side. But that Spitfire will definitely help pin this down. Just needs to make sure that he keeps clear of the engagement with his Churchill 5, because I reckon this will definitely penetrate it. Up at the top side, engagement between the U304 and an MMG carrier. The MMG carrier does have the Vickers, so decent amount of HE on target, should be able to pin the U304 before it gets pinned itself. The only bad part here is that the U304 has 2 armour and the MMG carrier only has 1 armour, so it's actually pretty likely that the U304 is going to destroy the MMG carrier before the U304 dies itself. But now we see ME109G0 purchased by the man who changed Korea to try and take out the Spitfire Mark 9. Now that Mark 9 is actually pretty low on ammunition, but a second one going to be coming in to save the day by the looks of things. That ME109 can't take on 2 Spitfires. It will definitely get shot down. What the man who changed Korea has to count on is maybe the Spitfire Mark 9 running out of fuel. but he's going to be forced to fall back, and I feel like this Spitfire Mark 9 with its turning circle might be able to get on the back of it. No, the ME109G0 is going to be safe for now. So 105mm still firing away, did 3 damage there to that rifle squad in 1 shot, but still a +1 for Cadilakor. It seems that he's pressing his attack on the top and bottom side of the map, and it's working out for him currently. And the Spitfire can now come in and start strafing these ground targets. Looks like the Churchill's kind of hiding, doesn't want to get involved with the S307 pack or this 105mm Lorraine. AT gun is sneaking round to the bottom side. I wonder if the man who changed career can see that coming. He can definitely see the Lloyd carrier, so I would assume he knows what's up. Spitfire Mark 9 getting a lot of morale damage onto the Pack 43. Churchill looks like it got shot at by the S307 pack there. Honey's moving around to the top side. This could get quite hairy for the man who changed career, because if you allow the breakthrough into the top side of this map around these hangars, and then Cadilakor gets some men entrenched in here, it's going to be a really, really bad time for the man who changed career, because it's incredibly hard to push back on from then. I was very surprised, really, not to see any infantry supporting these units down at the south side earlier on, because if there was, he could have taken advantage of this side, very much so, with the support of these 2 units. So Panzer Grenadier plus the command infantry going to be pushing on down here. It looks like they might end up bumping into this AT gun, but the breakthrough still coming through on the top side. U304 being forced to fall back, the Pack 43 also being forced to fall back due to the Spitfire. However, can he make that work? Currently it's using its HE to fire at the rifles, and that's not necessarily what he wants to do. What he needs to do with the Pack 43 is hit it with hit the Churchill 5 before the Churchill 5 has a chance of doing the range trick where you fire position just short of the Pack 43. So the Panzer Grenadier there going pretty hard. This is a risky engagement though. Churchill 5 versus the Lorraine. Looks like a fast move order is in effect from the S307 pack. And that's going to be trying to get into line of sight in order to help out this engagement. That has been forced to fall back, however. And the Spitfire is going to be coming in here to try and deal with the pack while it can. 6-pounder does manage to get the kill onto the U304, however the Panzergrens return that kill, and that is not worth it for Cadilakor. Now these Panzergrens need to get into this tree line, kill off these rifles, and then that will open up a big salient on the bottom side. Brumbar has arrived on the top side. That's going to blow up the MMG carrier there quite handily. And another change in Phase A that has made the 21st Panzer a bit more versatile. The rifles there being pinned. That's going to open up the map on the bottom side to give the man who changed career a +1. But can this hit its mark? Currently, it's 4 accuracy with no veterancy. He's also very limited in his AP capabilities due to the low ammo. So there's that to worry about as well. So if this last shot misses and doesn't get the kill, then he's out of ammunition. Oh, actually bounced there. And Cadilakor getting away with it for now. The S307 pack definitely has a big chance of being killed now, especially with it falling back like it is. Spitfires versus ME109G0s. 2 on 2. A fair fight. Who can micro airplanes better? Oh, looks like man who changed career might be getting onto the back of the Spitfire there. He definitely does. New Spitfire Mark 9 comes in from Cadilakor, shoots down an ME109 G0. This G0 have very low on ammunition, cannon ammunition at least. That kind of takes away its lethality. Bomber going to be coming down onto the Panzergrens here. Then that Spitfire is going to be joining in with this dogfight. And I feel like the man who changed career is just going to be outgunned and shot down, losing both of his fighters at the start of the game. I'm not entirely sure I'm keen on him investing in the ME109G0s at the start. I feel like maybe you're better off investing it in AA, although the AA of the 21st Panzer isn't great in Phase A as well. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Also, the low availability of like infantry and other things that are useful in general in Phase A for the 21st Panzer is actually quite low. But the Panzergrenadier, they're going to be getting out of line of sight the rifles with the smoke. Panzergrenadier taking cover from the Honey Stuart as well. So this 105 still firing away at these rifles. 6-pounder is going to be starting to make its way across the runway. Panzergrenadiers here, after being bombed out, are being wrecked by the Churchill 5. And there's nothing that Brumbar can do about that. Brumbar can, however, take out the rifles there. Nice kill indeed. 222 is on its way down. These are the 2-star variants. It's going to have to get very close to the Honey if it wants to get a kill. And this Brumbar actually has to be pretty careful because it could be side shot by the Honey. Especially if the Churchill continues to fire at it and pin it down. But crew wounded there and crew knocked out, which may allow the 222 to charge it down, which is what I'd like to see. In the bottom side, still the engagement here. Things currently even in terms of territory, so both players playing quite well at the moment, quite cautiously, which is to be expected. I think Cadilakor went a bit strong in the top side and has kind of been, punished for that, especially with the Honey going down to the 222 as it got closer. And this 222 could now also charge down and use line of sight to get very close to the Churchill 5 and kill that as well. So there's that to look out for. Panzergrenadier are going to be pinned down by the Spitfire Mark 9s. Cadilakor did do very well winning the air engagement and basically claiming air superiority for the majority of the game now. So that will definitely help him out, but it's just going to make it work. And at the moment, in the bottom side, it looks like the rifles here, they're very close to the Panzergrenadiers, but they've got to pin down this Panzergrenadier before the Panzergrenadiers actually surrender. It looks like the Honey's going to be on that, might even kill them before they surrender, and that's going to be job done. So the bottom side open up again for Cadilakor, might even push the +1. Especially with how much ground he's making here. Yep, there it goes. Pack 43 going to be engaging the 6-pounder on the airfield. However, the Spitfire Mark 9 is coming into play. SPW 231 in the top side, engaged by the Churchill 5. That's going to be forced to fall back. I would not be surprised to see the Spitfire actually kill that. Now that's kind of unlucky. I think the second bomb just completely missed the target, and the Pack 43 is alive for now, but maybe these Spitfires can strafe it to death. So the 222, they're going to be firing some 20mm autocannon at the Spitfires, but that 222 needs to sort of travel around and try and get in behind this Churchill 5. He can't now because of the 6-pounder, but maybe the Brumbar can deal with that. Is the Pack 43 dead? Not quite yet. Going to be a couple more strafing runs, or maybe just one from the Spitfire Mark 9 here. He's 1-star veteran. Yep, going to be picking that up. Very nice kill indeed. That didn't pay itself off at all. And we just saw the 17-pounder on the field here take out the Befehl Panzer 35. So this is a bit of a bad situation for the man who changed career now, because his armoured units that were basically giving him the Phase A superiority in this bottom side are going to fall apart to the 17-pounders, especially across this big area down here. He can't really rely on his air force to go and take that out either, so he would have to be using artillery instead, and currently I don't think he can really afford it. In the bottom side, however, nice kill from the S307 pack, taking out the Honey. Double Panzergrenadier is going to be stopping the advance of the rifles there. We also see the Brumbar coming in at the bottom as well. So that's going to be 27 HE on target, and I would not be surprised to see that rifle squad disintegrate. Well, didn't take as much damage as I thought. Brumbar on the top side. That's going to be taking out the 6-pounder there. And this is where you want to move that 222 just right up into the face of that Churchill 5. I mean, you could sneak it behind here and then just push around the corner. That 222 is going to kill the Churchill 5 at that range. At least he should do. He's got 2-star veterancy. The only, well, I say he should do. He's only got 20 ammunition left, so maybe not. But you know, there's a good chance if it had ammunition that would be the case. We do see some AA coming up. That is going to be a 37mm AA to try and force back some of these Spitfires and stop the strafing onto his units. So, man who changed career. It looks like he's trying to solidify his position, but has been forced back quite a way, especially with the advance of these rifles across the field. That has provided this +1 for Cadilakor so far. So the Aufklärer, they're going to be moving up into the tree line right next to the Churchill 5. And that's fine, it's just I would like to see play out of this 222. Marder 1 is on its way, and maybe that can make the play instead. Oh, that's not good. 6-pounder is going to be tracking the U304. Can the 6-pounder take out the Brumbar, however? Not quite sure it can. And if it gets into 1,000 meter range, that 27 HE is going to do the job. S307 pack does get the kill onto the Churchill 5 in the mid. That is massive. That is a really, really good kill. Oh. Not traded very well, though. If the 17-pounder's returning that. Should have been reversed into position as soon as possible, using the line of sight break there to stop that kill from happening. It was nice of him to get the Churchill 5, but maybe it just wasn't turning around quick enough to get back into cover, and therefore got popped by the 17-pounder. So this is interesting now, because that 17-pounder's looking for the shot onto the Brumbar, and if he can get the kill with that, a lot of the pressure on the bottom side will now return into the favour of Cadilakor, especially with the S307 pack gone and possibly the Brumbar. So double Spitfire still flying about. This time going to be bumping into a Flak 36 though, which is going to force them to fall back. There's actually 2 now on the field. Marder 1 is rolling into position. Does have to be careful of bringing it into range of this 17-pounder though. And it looks like Cadilakor has that in his sights. Brumbar still falling back. Not too much further it can actually go. And all the Honey needs to do is just keep firing at it. Eventually the Brumbar will show its side armor, and then the Honey actually has kill potential. So rifles have been revealed up here. It looks like the Brumbar... I thought he might fire at these rifles, but I don't think he can see them. Yeah, he's got what looks like some Sturm Pioneers in here, and he's going to be trying to engage the rifles with those. Brumbar did, however, fall on the bottom side. Looks like a second 17-pounder has joined up on this bottom side, and the one on the airfield smashes the Marder 1. That's not good at all, because that's a Marder 1 lost for free. The Brumbar on the bottom side hadn't actually done too much before it died as well. That's a pretty big problem. 2 of these 105mm Lorraines on the way though, and if they can get the fire position onto the 17-pounders, the man who changed career could definitely turn this around. Like if he uses this one to kill this 17-pounder, then uses this one to kill that one, all he's got to deal with then is the Honey, and all of the infantry will be dead anyway. So he's just got to make the play onto the 17-pounders, and then he'll be in a very good position on the bottom side. However, his infantry currently being forced to fall back, which isn't that great. However, now he's in phase B and C. He should have Panzergrenadiers in just normal trucks, which you can see here. He's also bringing in a Pak 43. Now, what can he actually see? Because there's a limited amount of recon here. The Aufklärer are kind of blocked from seeing reinforcements. But as soon as this Churchill comes into line of sight, if this Pak 43 hasn't been uploaded, I would expect that to be zooming up to the top side instead. But one of the Lorraines there actually going to be killed off by the 17-pounder, so that didn't work out very well. But the Panzergrenadiers they just... I'm not sure quite what happened there, but they managed to get a Panzerfaust onto a Stuart that was pinning them down in the open, so interesting. Either way, 17 pounder going to be forced to fall back by the Flak 36. That might allow this Lorraine to start hammering the 17 pounder from a distance. He's got to try and make that play. He's got to try and get rid of these 17 pounders, because then his fire support units fare a lot better. Hansgren's currently killing off 2 squads of infantry. We've got the assault pioneers almost going down here as well. Spitfire Mark 9 trying to get the bomb onto the Flak 36, but a futile attempt. Looks like it may be down to the Pak 43 coming in on the bot side to kill off the 17 pounders. However, there is now a 25 pounder to back things up, and that 25 pounder will kill it quite simply, or at least pin it down enough for these 17 pounders to be safe. Now, I'm interested to see exactly why this 25 pounder was brought up so far. It has 2,400 meter range. So you could pretty much go to here, for example, and still hit this Flak 36. So preferably, I wouldn't have this out in the open so much. I'd have it behind one of these hangars, so that it's not in direct line of fire of anything. Especially something like this Lorraine, for example. However, I think this Lorraine is going to end up in line of sight of the 17 pounder, and 17 pounder is going to get the kill. Now that's 2-star veterancy. Yep, 1 shot kill. So the Flak 37 is now being artied as well. And with less AA presence, it's much more likely to see the Spitfire Mark 9 bomber come through and actually hit its mark. So it seems like these 25 pounders were introduced to the game in order to counter the anti-air and enable Cadilakor's Air Force once again. But this 17 pounder, it's doing work. Takes out another 222. Leaves the Aufkläder there, which should give more information to Cadilakor about what he's up against, but 17 pounder also taking out an open blitz on the bottom side. I'm not entirely sure why that was there. Maybe originally to reload one of the Lorraines. But we gotta hope that this Pak 43 can destroy one of these 17 pounders, or even the Churchill 5, before the 25 pounder is targeted on its location. So 25 pounder currently aiming at the other AA. That's going to allow the Spitfire Mark 9 to come in and bomb out the 222, which is going to be forced back and allow the Churchill 7 up here to continue to roll forwards. Brumbar going to be still engaging the rifles here, and the rifles that were in the open have just slowly been cut down by the Brumbar. Brumbar used a lot of ammunition. Looks like a nice air display of Spitfire Mark 9s. Going to be making sure that the man who changed career doesn't bring out another aeroplane anytime soon. But currently at +1 for Cadilakor, and I believe he was sitting at a +2 for just a little while. Pak 43 there, of course, going to be forced to fall back as soon as the shots from the 25 pounder came in. It looks like the Pak 43 almost took out the second one. Again, I'm still wondering why these were brought so far up. They don't need to be, in any case. Rifles almost dead in the open up here. This Churchill 7 is looking to get into line of sight and take that out. Once he does, it's going to definitely open things up. Oh, SPW 222 would have killed the 17 pounder if the 17 pounder hadn't hit the mark. But 2-star veteran C6 accuracy at that range should do the job. 25 pounder taking out one of the Flak 36s as well. So that makes things difficult. Fire position coming in from the Churchill 5 down onto the bottom side, just to deny the placement of the Pak 43 in this tree line, which is actually quite a nice idea. Just got to be careful he doesn't get caught out by it moving into the trees further up. You don't want that Churchill 5 to be on a fire position order when it could potentially be aiming at the Pak 43 you actually want to kill. Churchill 7 does come forwards up here. I believe the 17 pounder must have got that shot in, because the Churchill 7 was not in line of sight. So yeah, 17 pounder brought up to the mid. Going to be doing the job there. That's 3 2-star 17-pounders on the field now, and not too much the man who changed career can do, even with this Königsdagger on its way. Because 2-star 17-pounders will definitely do a lot of morale damage to Königsdaggers. Just got to make sure that maybe he does the fire position trick on the Königsdagger to the 17-pounders and then tries to take advantage of that. But there is going to be a serious crossfire coming in from both of these, and as soon as this King Tiger dies, that's going to be the hopes and dreams of the man who changed career crushed in an instant. Multiple Spitfires coming down now to pin the Pak 43, and the bomber's going to finish it off with the help of the 25-pounder. There we go. Okay, so Königsdagger at max range, going to be engaging the 17-pounder. If he can get the kill there, that would be fantastic. See if he can make it work. Currently, Cadilakor is going to be falling back the 17-pounder at the moment. 25-pounders in the bot side, still arting the same position the Pak 43 was in. So currently 15 minutes left on the clock, 9 minutes until Cadilakor's victory. He is now pushing the +2 with 58% territory lead. Pak 43 has been brought in on the top side, is going to kill the Churchill 7, which is actually pretty big because I don't think there's any other significant armor that can push on that top side, so that may delay things for Cadilakor. But I'm just waiting to see what can happen with this Königsdagger, because it's getting dangerously close to the 17-pounder that I'm pretty sure the man who changed career knows is here, or should know that it's there, because it's killed so many of his units. Like, the one on the field was 6 health, right? So he knows it wasn't the 5 health one that's been killing his units, and that's going to be side armor shot. Oh, that was close. We almost saw the 17-pounder side shot. The Königsdagger doesn't matter anyway. The range there is going to give him the penetration. And that is a dead King Tiger. Wow. Massive miss micro there from the man who changed career. It looks like Cadilakor just had it smoked down, and rather than moving forwards, it looks like he probably should have moved back. Second one coming in on the top side here. And I mean, if the one in the center was still giving that presence, I feel like the one in the top side could have then made some ground, especially with the Churchill 7 now dead. Not that the Churchill 7 would have been much of a problem for a Königsdagger anyway, but yeah, that's such a shame, because if he just held here, made some ground back, that would have been a +1. The time until victory would have been, you know, a lot longer, another 5 minutes, and that could have been enough time for a double Königsdagger push to push Cadilakor all the way back, especially with all of his units very vulnerable in the middle of the airfield at the moment, especially things like these 25-pounders, you know, direct line of sight, I mentioned it before, it's just not good, you know, especially with like things like the Königsdaggers coming onto the field there. If that 17-pounder wasn't there, these 25-pounders would just die for free. Maybe the 17-pounder at the bottom side would have got a side shot afterwards, but you never know. It looks like Panzergrenz not quite in line of sight of these rifles, so the rifle is able to just run up into this building. That's going to enable a 100-meter range engagement, which honestly the rifles actually win due to the rifles having more HE, but the rifle's just going to run straight into the fire of the Panzergrenz and not do too much damage at the moment. Rifles need to get back into cover. Yeah, allow the Sherman 2 to pin them down and then maybe get the surrender there. However, Pioneer Führer is present, so not going to happen today. Panzergrenz still ripping rifles in the open. Königsdagger up on the top side has arrived and will start making a lot of ground. However, I believe that is 2 more 17-pounders rolling into the center of the map, and that's going to be very hard for the man who changed career to navigate around, and it looks like he knows that too, and is going to surrender after 27 minutes and 48 seconds. So a very, very interesting game. Wasn't really that one-sided until the end there. Once the Königsdagger went down, I feel like that was all hope was lost for the man who changed career. And that's basically it. In the early game as well, the man who changed career, losing the ME-109G0s to the Spitfire Mark 9s, just wasn't ideal at all. Lost complete air supremacy, had to rely on those Pak 37s, which then started getting artied by the 25-pounders. This 17 pounder just killed so much stuff. This was the one that was, originally 6 health, picked off the S307 pack and the Lorraines. Then it went down to 5 health, killed even more stuff, 3 health, and then I feel like the man who changed career should have known it was there and allowed his Koenigstagger to die to it as well. So absolute hero Bernard here. Without all of those kills and that 17 pounder dead, imagine how different the game would have been. Just insane. So, it was a lot closer than it looks, maybe, towards the end there. If that 17 pounder had been killed by something, maybe by some, fire position micro, then, things would have been massively different. But there we go. There you have it. That is game 1 of the best of 3 between Cadilakor and the man who changed career. Cadilakor only needs to win 1 more in order to move on in the tournament. But that's all for now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.